Hello everyone, welcome back to the Selenium live training by myself Karthik at IT-Learn. Thank you so much for joining. We are now in the November 2018 batch. So team, very quickly before we go forward into what we're about to do, I just want to make sure that you understand what this training will consist for you. Okay, so I've put in a few details. I'll quickly go through them. And we will talk a few things. We will try and understand this program and yeah, we'll explore more. All right, so great. So here are some details about when and how we plan to do it. Right now, we are doing this schedule of evening. This is primarily my evening batch where you are there right now, and that'll be my morning batch. So what this does, team, is it gives me plenty of time to be able to interact on both of you. So once I do the sessions on morning and evening live with you, with live Q&A, there's plenty of action, there's plenty of learning that is coming along. Now, what I've put together as a schedule, team, is very simple. Let me show it into the calendar as well. So today 16th, we missed today morning session. Sorry about that. I'm going to do one more session on Monday, a little bit much more stronger organized for us. And on 19th on Monday, we'll have two sessions, morning and a repeat on evening. So if you miss this session or if you still want to come back, you're still welcome for these demo classes. The training will start on the 23rd November and it will go on till the mid-December, team. So actual training itself. And what that means is you have a little bit of gap in between. If you are new to IT or QA, then please watch ACT videos and I'll guide you on that. Okay. This is also another note. Primarily, I thought I'll kick off right after that 19th, 20th, but then we have two side gaps. So if I do a day one on 20th, Wednesday, Thursday, like a Thanksgiving, it's going to be crazy for us. So I thought let's start on a Friday. Let's take the first day, get started with the basics, and then we jump into the classes from 26th full-fledged. All right. And we will continue till the mid of December, 14th December. So it gives us about 3 full weeks, about 90 minutes each, 15 session, 90 minutes each, plenty of topics to cover. So what is it that we want to accomplish, team? Basically, we're going to start with the difference between manual versus automation and how we're going to use Selenium IDE to start with some of the basic concepts. So in this, we will spend about about half a day, not more than that, half a session into it, along with a little bit of element identification. I don't think that was put here, but we should be able to do that because we covered that identification recap in ACT a little bit more lengthier. We will then get into understanding Selenium WebDriver with Eclipse and Core Java team, right from installation and doing a dry run for a simple Selenium WebDriver code. We're going to use Core Java as a programming language, and we'll see a lot of exposure towards how any developer also uses Java, not just an automation engineer. So we learn to do some basic codings thanks to a Selenium WebDriver. When we run these codes, it looks very nice and interesting where you see it happening on the application. Now, all this basic concepts of programming we'll be able to cover as part of a first project. So very simple few Selenium WebDriver based codes that we will write and execute, little logic into it that will impart. The next project as part of the training that we will take up, I will take up to teach team, will be something towards data-driven framework. So with the concept or the whole focus on data-driven framework, what happens is you will learn a lot of things. Number one, how to do simple exceptional handling, try-catch blocks. How do we do simple loops and condition statements within Java programming? How do we read and write with externally stored test data? And we get exposure to JUnit and test NGX as well. From here on, we will go a little bit more advanced into coding, where we build the whole concept of understand the concepts of keyword and start building a detailed keyword driven framework. And how can we apply that very quickly? All right. The last one, which we will do as a project in this training, which will require about another 3 sessions. So the 4 to 5 classes initially, and then the data-driven framework taking the 3 sessions team. We have 5 sessions for keyword-driven framework, so 5, 16 sessions, 15 sessions in total. Page object model, page factory, and a hybrid framework. Okay, these two are again very important, not even upcoming, they're very well there into the market. Now the same frameworks have a little different flavors also, and as and when I'll keep guiding you that here's something that you can look at. But primarily this is what the training will all encompass team. So you're looking at the schedule, and here are the different topics that we're going to go through. Now I wish to do both the batches so I get good chance to interact with you. All the videos that we do will be recorded and it will be there on the website. You can watch them under AACT no more. This is the completed one. You'll start seeing them under Selenium. So if you click on Selenium team and go to the trainings, here a list of all the topics that we kind of have, much more than what is listed here for sure. Here are the different batches that we keep having and the videos for the same. So you can take any of the old batches and start watching also, or pick up whatever we're doing, we'll also start putting them out here. All right, so this is where you can find the videos. Typically what happens is once you click on it, what you would see is just a few of the free videos, about 3 videos here. And from there, most of them are hidden. You don't, unless you're a member and you log in. So let me try and log in quickly. I think I've just logged into the application as one of the users. And this is actually the admin, but basically what I'm going to see is go to the Selenium trainings and the same thing right now. 1 second, please. So trainings and then the previous one. Now here are the other sessions that we couldn't see earlier that are embedded into the session. So every project, everything that we're doing are all put in here as a good playlist. So you have almost like what, day 14, 18, 19, 21, 21 odd sessions team that we've done in the previous one. And similarly, you have multiple batches to go back and look at. We've been very active on this training part almost for the last 10 years. But at least content has been put from when? Yeah, last 5-6 years, I think we have decent amount of old videos also as content. 1 or 2 old batches should be more than sufficient for your learning. Team, I also want to share, so this is the basic Selenium training link for you. I'm going to put this in chat. Sorry about that caption here. We were playing around with GoToWebinar earlier. So we put it together, me and Pawan. Okay, where am I? I'm here at this webinar team that I attended. Was it this morning or yesterday morning, I believe? And this was by Simon. I don't know how many of you know this gentleman, but he was talking about Selenium IDE, the next generation. They're coming up with something very new. So this webinar was hosted by Apply Tools. Simon Stewart was the one behind Selenium WebDriver team, and this gentleman is amazing. So his webinar is out here. I think if I delete this token, yeah, should be fine. So a little bit on the webinar. I definitely want you all to watch this webinar team. All right. It's got his voice, he speaks to everything. The way he mentions it is amazing. I'll kind of quickly go through the slides that I was seeing. He's talking about primarily the Selenium ecosystem. the fact that we have a test, we can run it through Selenium server on a grid, and then our web driver is helping us to put it onto a browser. The what we have been trying to do and a lot of providers have been doing is put this cloud service where the same thing is happening, and a lot of values through this software as a service and how we get to execute tests and get results, but you have to pay for them in certain way. Now, Selenium Grid, which I don't know how many of you are aware, we will also try and catch something on this, but we have some amazing videos on Grid team, which will help you to do distributed test runs. So instead of all being run on one system, it could be on a network of or a farm of machines that having different configurations. So it's not only faster, but it is holistic. It helps you does much more. Um, the IDE thing and Selenium WebDriver is something we will look very deep into, how we can interact with the basic browsers, the commands, and how we can look at the entire command library at the back end. So that built-in framework for running the tests that are there, not much that Selenium IDE has brought in team. Now, if you look at these, the simplicity is important in how they were going about. And here is how they build the original IDE to keep able to record simple tests or write them and execute. I think they've come a decent way from there, not really too long. There's some good credits to Shinya and so on, the few people who worked on it. So you should definitely watch this video, team. What is interesting is, we know that it was always working for Firefox. Now it's IDE is there for Chrome. We've seen a new thing coming up, which will get exposed very soon. How we went about installing and running tests in the old line or IDE run at the command prompts. Selenium server, RC was there. Now, the enhancements that they're trying to bring now into this is control flow. Like, if a condition happens, what do we do? Else, what do we do? That kind of an ability, or if statements and that kind of an ability was not easy within earlier IDE. That's something they're promising to bring. Fallback locators is amazing team that I've liked, where if an element identification fails, can we keep a track of an alternate way to find the same element before throwing an error? And that's great, especially for some of the notorious ones. It helps us to do that. They want this thing I really like, team, the fact that they would like us to do, contribute to plugins as add open source commands and locators and so on. So there's a lot that they're looking at. They want to make it data-driven testing. They want to bring a little bit of page factory into it. So they're working on these now. They want to also export tests to different programming languages, which they had earlier. Yes, so that's the road to 4.0. It's talking about this coming up by early next year with a lot more features into it. It is really good to look forward to. All that it says, I think we are in the right place. Selenium is an amazing skill, and I have not seen this kind of activity or webinar by Simon or other contributors for a long time. So you should definitely go through this team. I've put this in the chat also for you to look at. All right. Now, okay, coming back to us, what do we have? So I have a schedule team. Primarily, the way I'm trying to break down my courses are we have the free QA training, then Selenium training, then we have SDET training, which is much more enhanced to what we're doing, live projects and certifications, and JPACT. Now, quickly, I just want to run a few poll questions while I go through some of the other things. I would like to know where you're from, team, joining in for this specific webinar. Can I have everyone take a few seconds and vote in, please? I'll quickly close this team. I've got most of the votes and about 86% of you, which is phenomenal. Thank you. Can I close it, everyone? Oh, this is nice. I see, can you all see the results on your screen, team? 60% US, 33% of you India, South Asia. So that's great. I see a lot of them there. What are the 8% other? So, okay. Wow. So that not part of. Can you mention it in chat kindly? The 8% of you who are from other countries, where you're from. So it is good that we're able to cover a decent couple of time zones, because right now we do not have too many audience members, which we will see over the next week building towards the launch of the session. All right. But keep joining every day, team. There will be sessions, activities that we'll try keep doing. All right. What else do we have now? Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. That's for the poll. I have a couple more questions, team. I really want you to help me answer. This is important for me to know, so I know the audience, and I would love to continue to run these polls in every session. Can you kindly take a few seconds to look at it, please? All right, team, almost 86% of you have voted in. I'm going to quickly close. 2 or 3 of you still not active in the webinar. Request you to get back active, please. So there you go. So we've got a mixture. About 50% of you are good. That's nice. Moderate, and 25% no knowledge. So team, I would assume that some of you would focus on JPACT and ASCT as a training, because if you've gone through ASCT, then no knowledge would not really help team. You would be able to go beyond. The way Selenium has been taught by me for the last decade, almost 2008-9 timeframe, had started training online with QTP at that time, team, is I focused a lot on the aspects of hands-on and so on. And manual testing was not really very, very critical as a prelim, because by this itself is a tool and a lot of methodologies for us to learn on that. Uh, all right, team, thank you so much for that. This is the other one, please. Just a quick one. I have both the batches, morning and evening batch. Want to know from you which one you would be more happy to attend. I know you're all part of evening batch right now, which is 6:30 p.m. Pacific. But please do choose if there's some of you who wanted to attend morning and having to attend because we could not attend. Oh, wow, that's amazing. So about 65, 70% votes in team. Please make sure that you put your votes and I know what audience is thinking. All right, great. So almost again all the votes in. So I'm going to close this. So team very equally distributed in the sense that 2/3 in the morning and 1/3 in the evening. That is the preference right now. We're going to do both the batches. I'm going to be there for both the batches. So let's make this happen. Thank you so much. Have I shared that? Okay, there you go. Now I'm sharing the results with you. Hi. I have one more last question, team. I'll not bore you after that. Are you already a member of IT-Learn, Selenium, JPact, or any of these? Or not yet, or planning? No, or planning to be, for me, is the same. It could be your decision whenever, team. But more importantly, let's look at what you really want to do. Now, while you're filling in this poll question, I also want to ask if anyone wants a call back from me, maybe tomorrow morning, on your number, then please share that number with me so I can have a one-on-one discussion. All right. Great. Can I close this poll as well? 70% votes in, 86% great. There you go. Perfect. This is also very equally distributed. That's good. 33% of you are already members. Great. Thank you so much. Coming back, team. We're going to really focus in ensuring a great training program. Live, interactive. I want you all to start working in parallel and practicing the same. While you're doing this, any challenges, I want you to come up and share either to me or each other to the training group. So your learning can be together. You all can do a lot of combined learning. All right. Great. Thank you so much. I've hid that poll as well. So team, primarily what we're looking at from a course structure is we have these 4 programs, right? The manual testing wing focuses a lot on the basics. We went in depth. We just finished most of the NEOT certified tester training. We have 1 or 2 more sessions left, and I'll request everyone in the AAC to register back here into this webinar. I will also ask team offline to do it for me. So registration is done automatically. And so we go through the basics. We do a lot of exploration. There's an intense amount of activity that the team has put in. Kudos to them. Kudos to all the members who've been participating in AACT. That would have been a great question as a poll if I could have asked, but no, that's fine. Let me see if I can add a quick poll while I'm doing this. So once your basics of testing are good, team, then we get on to the same thing that we discussed and how we go intensely from these aspects. Now, out here, even if you're not great at most of these things, but there are few things like fundamentals of HTML or Selenium IDE, of course, element identification, writing tests for automation tests in ENIOT. ENIOT, I wouldn't say that it is mandatory for you. It's okay, good to know. Understanding ERA, very critical. ROI of test automation, all about software test automation frameworks. Very nice. And team, this is a free training. So you can, attend, watch it any number of times. I plan to do one live batch every month. I'll start another batch depending on how many leads I get once more in about 2-3 weeks. Just one request, team. I think we've gone through the entire cycle of being there for a decade now. And I only believe in one thing, it's a word of mouth. And either you've seen us through YouTube or it's a word of mouth that is getting us this far. So great. We are pretty happy with the direction it is going. Now, it's just that we have to be more focused towards future of automation testing. It is just not just, Selenium WebDriver and so on. What else are we looking at? There's this shift left, shift right concept that a lot of people have spoken in the recent times, team, if you're aware. Now, if we focus on these three sections now, the one which we are in, automation live training, primarily on Selenium, but there are also other things, tools that we have. The next package that we're talking about, team, is the SD DevOps, live projects and certifications. So I've kind of clubbed them all together into one. The reason is very simple. As soon as people get into live projects, any of the live projects, be it QA, Selenium, and so on, will start implementing a lot of tools. They could be very simple, PMP, how do I say, related tools like Trello and Jira and so on, or a little bit more advanced tool which let us do CI/CD, like Jenkins, Maven, Docker, and so on. All these tools, we may not become an expert overnight, team, but as it is critical for us to have them in our profile, one, and it is also important for us to know what it is, just to see that UI and so on. That we want to bring into the table. What we want to do here is a collection of a lot of other content that is additional to your learning. So this would be your next level, team. So we're looking at mid of December to get this through. SD DevOps, we will start right after, so that before mid of Jan or first week of Jan, we should be able to get you rolled out, team, into the job market. Great markets and opportunity now will come up for automation. But you have to have the right skill, right projects. JPAC, very simple, team. How many of you are JPAC members? I know 33% of you are Selenium, IT Learn members. So I'm sure a few of you are JPAC members as well. I did a webinar, team, that I just created. Let me go to webinars. And for all the JPAC members, I want you to be part of this session. It's just called regular sessions. I just sent out an email to all the JPAC members who have been there so long. Just got it scheduled. Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and Thursday also 11 a.m. No, Friday. Tuesdays and Friday. Depending on what my JPAC members say they want as a time for evening, I could do an additional evening session. So right now it's all 11 a.m. Pacific, and I kept it all the way to March 29th. So if you're JPAC member, you basically will get registered. We will approve your registration, and let's meet constantly. So what is it that we want to do when we meet up constantly? We want to talk about your technical issues a little bit more in depth. It could be project status work, or it could be something at your what you're doing at your practice level also. We'll focus a lot on getting started with job hunt, be it resume profiles, mock interviews, what are the keywords, what projects have you done, how do you put it, how do we get you into it. We'll keep talking, team. A lot of them as group discussions where we will learn as a group. It's very important to have these group sessions, as we will learn also from others' experience. Then one-on-ones, absolutely critical to fine-tune you and to keep presenting you. Now, default, you get access to everything. There's a lot of learning, but more importantly, grooming, team. We have, I believe, have not done too much of focus. We've been trying to push the JPAC members keep coming ahead and so on. But primarily, team, what we will see coming out in um, these activities is part of these sessions. So we will do both morning and evening. So please be part of them. Okay. This was the defect we did. Our team, unfortunately, forgot to add a few more sessions for today, tomorrow, not tomorrow, but today and next week, and change it out here. So I had to go back and redo it. All right, so there we are. I'm towards the end of it. I'm open for questions, team. I've gone through, I think, most of what we wanted to discuss. Any questions for me, please? And feel free to okay, and feel free to raise your hand, team, if you have any questions that you want to speak about. I know it's 7:10 p.m. Pacific, 10:10 Eastern, Friday evening. So I'm not expecting you to be all gung on the energy levels, but stay tuned. This is what we're doing. And what I definitely want you to do is stay with this webinars. We'll have morning and evening. Either one, attend please. We'll have the topics and a live Q&A with me for sure. Okay. So team, I'm going to give a minute or two as a wait for more questions coming in from your side. I got one question. If I get two, three more questions, then I start recording and go for it at the same time, please. Team, I've got just a couple of questions. Like I said, also not a very large audience today. So I can quickly go through them and answer. If I don't have anything more, then I can end the webinar after those. Okay. So let me start with them. All right, team, I'm back. So the few questions. Question one is Java learning knowledge critical for learning QA and automation? To a large extent, yes, for automation, to large extent. Now, what happens in a typical automation project team is 70% of the effort may be going in writing and managing tests rather than real coding. So if there are 10 people, very few people are actually sitting down and sitting down on the code and writing them. Others are the ones who are doing a bulk of work in preparing tests, new setups, test data, integrations, executing reports, and so on. While that has been a roadblock mentally for a lot of you, I have been doing this for the last 10 years, team, and most of you have gone through this curve easily. So whatever Java you need to know to be successful in automation, I will ensure you'll master. There's no question about it. All right. And that's why these live trainings are very important. Another question, what is the fee for just Selenium training? So here is how it is on the website. I just went to the pricing. Now there's a video access for 1 year and lifetime as membership to products. Then we have live trainings like these and live project and so on. And then we have also the certified Selenium developer training. These are the other products that we have, team. Now JPack is your final one, which is the biggest package. But we are looking at repricing these to something more realistic. So like this is free. We want to add a price to this live training that we are currently into. A little bit more that would be because of SDED DevOps live projects and JPack, which is the overall program. So give me time till about Monday, team, and you'll get the an email with the details of it. But as of now, what you see in the website is what the members are paying directly. Okay, great. There's two more questions that I have. Will there be group projects? Yes. So, Ismat and team, if there is good contribution, a good kind of discipline, like I've seen in AACT, that we can work as a group, then I will add you all to a Google folder, and you can start interacting with each other also. Have a group on Skype or WhatsApp. Interact, learn together as a group. I think it will help a lot. Okay. Interact with each other, team. I'll let you all interact really with each other. That will really help. Keep it wise, keep it nice for everyone, and don't go too mean on me as well. And then we'll be good. Are you conducting any trainings on Core Java, Advanced Java, Spring, Hibernate, etc.? Raju, no. Core Java, yes, I'm doing it. Beyond that, Advanced Java, I'm not even teaching, but I do work on it. I do work not in Spring and Hibernate frameworks. I've not worked. And I've not really dwelt deeper than that because automation never needed those advanced Java, Spring, and Hibernate to a large extent. I had to use, I mean, as we keep going, there are a lot of things that we can do with it, but not really. We've not gone so deep into it. We don't require to. And just letting you know, team, I don't know how many of you know us, or is it the first time attending, team, that you have been attending? So a couple of poll questions that I just want to ask. In a webinar, you can see the question being returned. So when I put it up, yes, no, you can quickly answer that for me, please. One more question that I wanted to ask. What was it related with? Thank you, Raju. Great. What did I want to ask? Something on. Let me run this in the meanwhile. Can you help answer that to me, please? Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know that. So team, there's also a little bit about myself to give you a background if you've not participated earlier. And I know we're all hard pressed for time, so we don't have the choice to really make as to where and so on. But here's my opportunity. I'll just show you my profile as well on LinkedIn. I would want you all to connect with me there, team. How do I get it? Me profile. There you go. And join with me there, connect with me there. I've got a lot of connects that are happening. I wish to be a little bit more regular. But primarily, team, I've worked across IT for a long time. Started as the, oh, sorry, I didn't. Let me share the screen once I finish the polls. Can I get everyone else voting in, please? 71% votes. Can I request everyone else to finish it? 2-3 minutes. That's it. No, I think that's the other one you did it there. So great team. I'm going to close this poll and share. So this is amazing, team. I didn't know. I thought most of it the regular members keep attending. So half of you are first time attending, half of you have been attending or attended at least one webinar earlier. So that is great. Thank you so much for joining in. I want to keep things very practical and simple, team. No PowerPoints, nothing fancy. We'll get going in depth. And I'm sure you would have seen us on youtube.com/qtp.elearn. That is the other thing you should check to know about how our contents and sessions are. I'm going to hide this poll results. So do subscribe with us on IT Learn team on YouTube. Our whole intent has to be around software testing and automation, primarily Selenium. And with that kind of a passion itself, we built Enion. And that tool is doing really well, team. Both from functional perspective, usage, and how we planning to get onto the new ones. So how we build such frameworks, advanced frameworks, and how you can get towards doing something like this will be a goal that you should look at in the next 2 3 months. There's a lot that we do, team. There's a lot of marketing content that we lack, we don't have. But once you can figure out these 4 5 links that we're sharing with you, uh, then you'll see, okay, this is what we are focused on. So this is my profile on LinkedIn. I've shared it. I've spent 20 years team in the industry. I passed out in 1998 from computer science engineering. I worked for about 4 years in technology before I moved totally into account management and sales. But then came back around there August 2008 for IT Learn and continued to do part time as a trainer. Then almost moved 2012 or 13, I moved full time into it. I just enjoy teaching. I enjoy being in automation testing. It hasn't bored me personally for the last 10 years. Hopefully, it'll do another 10 years for me with leaders like, Simon and how they're introducing new things. I think we'll do fantastically well in automation. We just need to get the right things in gear, one after the other. So if you go back to look at our portfolio of things, this is something that we are offering for free. So team, this is a starter. It's either that you start off with this or this. Don't worry. Once you remember, don't worry about repeating a few multiple sessions. That should not be a challenge. Automation, live training, I've talked about a lot about it. And this is critical for all of us to go through. Unless you do this, you cannot go to the live projects team or Selenium live projects, I mean, or SDET related topics. JPack is something that will go across. So right from manual automation, SDET. So a lot of members, what happens is after Selenium training, after live projects, they upgrade to JPack. But by then, you've lost a lot of internal sessions also that could have helped you make things faster. So team, take your wise choice. These are the programs that we have. Yes. Oops. I'm sorry. I did that. Sorry about that. Take its wise choice. We're very passionate, like I said, and we have a very small team. So for us, this is bread and butter. This is what we do for a living. So um, any other questions, team? I haven't seen any more, and I'll really look forward for you in the continued sessions. Stay part of it next week. Take your slow decision before Thanksgiving. All right. I don't see any other questions, team. So I'll see you next time then. Take care, all of you. Bye then. Bye all. Take care. Thank you all for joining. Thank you.